Hi there, welcome to some shocking news in the Noah Presgrove case. What went down last night within the chat I have never heard before, and it's in regard to supposed footage, a video, a photo proving Noah Presgrove being unconscious in a bathtub. Now, what's that got to do with maybe after the side-by-side rollover? Considering all the other talk of claims of Noah being stood up in the shower, being assisted as well and still awake but maybe a little groggy, there seems to be a bit of a contrast between the two. But one thing that runs in parallel consistently with one another is people telling it in words and only words with no hard evidence provided publicly. But granted, if it's such sensitive material that it can't be shown and it's got to be handed in to the police, I do understand, but also got to take in mind there's got to be a level of leniency. You can't expect the general public to just nod their heads and go along with it, because how often has that gone well? Not often. So join me today as I give you a bit of a backstory, the origins, and who's mentioned it just recently, and that is Michael Presgrove. How it started off the conversation was a level of confidence, and then it started to unwind on itself. But I'm glad Michael Presgrove was honest in the moment. I'm also making this video now because knowing what will happen and trends in the past, some human will come across my live chat, screenshot just a small portion without the full context, post it elsewhere and state it as an absolute fact, and then people will run with it for over months and months, and it'll just lead to confusion. So let's keep it under control on the spot. Now, welcome to anyone during this small live premiere. Share your thoughts in the live chat, and if you don't have time, anyone, you got questions, thoughts, opinions, leave a comment below under the video. It'll help with spreading awareness. PayPal link below if you want to support the channel. If you want to follow my full coverage on the case on playlist, top right corner where the I symbol is, click up there. You get the drop down box. What I also want to say is, just as a small little heads up, because I like to give context at times, like in the past when it came to upgrading my channel, with doing live streams more recently, and they've been going pretty well. I've been using a secondary device, whether that be for research, looking at comments, looking at posts, and I can relate to you on screen with my words, or maybe try and do it an alternative way, all on screen. Depends what device can allow what. And I was thinking that at some point, maybe get a laptop, small and portable, so one device can record it all, the other device, the laptop or the phone, can be used to do the research aspect and on the spot. So if anyone does support the channel, whether that be super chats, super stickers, channel membership, or even PayPal, what's given in support will go towards upgrading the channel and for the channel, such as with live streams when possible. Just wanted to give you a little heads up there, so you knew what was up. But beside that, we need to focus in on the important stuff right now, and it's just some slideshow screenshots from last night for those that did not catch it or see it. Let's begin. As you see on screen, Michael Presgrove last night said, "What about the picture of Noah Presgrove in the bathtub unconscious? Why not release the full video?" As in, release the full video of Noah in the bathtub, or release the full video, what Michael's still getting at with Pepe and Mikey Lair underneath that traffic cone barrel. Maybe both of them. We heard Andrea and some others say that the Pepe and Mikey little video, there's more to it. It's just not been fully released. It might have been George Choden or another person on the sideline said the reason why it wasn't released in its entirety is because the party goers don't want themselves put out there too publicly. I can understand that to an extent, but these particular videos of those individuals, were they posted public in the first place on social media? If so, well then, for them to say, well, I don't really want to be plastered out there public, well, they've already done that to themselves. If it was shared privately on social media, I understand that's a different situation. In terms of learning, it is important to get a hold of much as possible so we can fill the case and story out, but maybe there are exceptions here and there. But I want to know your thoughts about Noah Presgrove in a bathtub unconscious. Why would Noah be in that state likely because it has links to the supposed side-by-side rollover, but it was Caden Pressey. Now, I don't know if Michael Facecas is still on the same side as Caden Pressey, but it was Caden that stated Noah Presgrove was okay after the side-by-side rollover because he was shown a photo from a video of Noah on the floor, but conscious, awake, just with a bloodied nose, and that was it. And that Noah was supposedly escorted by two girls, and Caden didn't say he saw it, but I believe Alicia spoke on behalf of Caden in a text or a convo and put it that way. So, you know, if Noah was being dragged or carried unconscious, I get that. Why, how could Noah be okay and fine after the side-by-side rollover, from what Caden says, and then now Michael is saying, well, no, Noah was unconscious in the bath. Was there some kind of delayed effect from the rollover? A worse injury within. But even that wouldn't link or justify onto the extent of injuries that more was done after that point then, which would seem quite dark and evil in a sense. But, you know, the validity, the strength of it all really comes down to the hard evidence, right? Let's just add on with the additional context, previous points made by Sadie. Yes, Michael would like no timestamps when it comes to snaps and posts. Makes it easier for him to deny true facts. And, you know, I've got my own points there, which we'll get to a bit later. Michael Facecas, I have the photo of Noah in the bathtub. And then Michael says, supposedly. You can see where it starts to unwind now. First statement made, the picture of Noah in the bathtub, unconscious. I have the photo of it, that event with Noah. Supposedly, I do. It's not all said in the same sentence, and it depends how people read it. Tim Daniel said, Michael, are you saying you have a photo of Noah in a bathtub? And Michael says, yes. And then he says, I don't know if it's real. For Michael Facecas to call out the Mikey Lair snap possibly at one point, and for Michael to be somewhat critical and cautious of the Pepe and Mikey Lair video, what we saw in recent time, which was never seen before, to be critical of all that, and then for Michael to say himself that I've got material and stuff, but I don't know if it's real or not. It just doesn't sound good in a sense. Mike Johnson responds to Michael saying, Michael has never had anything, never will have anything, just the gossip queens with no supporting documentation. The thing is, Michael, Justin and others may have some material, but it doesn't mean to say that material is like strong, concrete or truly linkable to the case. Sometimes Michael, or most times Justin, may get led astray down the line. They may get given stuff, they may find things, but they're unsure whether it's true or not. And sometimes Justin may put his trust more so into it and believe in it and go all in, and then it backfires afterwards, and then Justin will say, well, I got wrong information and actually it came from there, or it came from here, they're to blame, that's to blame, etc. So the moment you do get material, just be careful with it. Now, Michael says he sent it to OHP, and if that's what Michael did, confident or not that Noah's in the bath, it's the right thing to do, but where does it go from there? Because Michael Facecas, I believe, mentioned that he sent it to the local FBI office in regard to that highway footage, I believe, the tampering of Noah's shorts. Well, where did that lead to? What did it lead to? We've not really seen any updates or movement about that. I'm not completely dismissing it, but it just seems like it's not been impactful enough, unless the building a case and it's just being dragged out, possibly. Tim Daniel says, share it, post it, prove it. But can it be released public? I mean, if on the basis it's to do with leading up or linking on to Noah's death, I could understand why it can't be revealed public. But in terms of the absolute certainty or confidence whether it's Noah or not, and it's not really been identified properly, that is a bit of an issue. George says, yeah, and Alicia ripped off Justin's cap and shrieked. They both shrieked. That video, I don't know what that's about. Michael Facecas, it was sent to me recently, but it's very scrappy quality. Crappy. So blurry, pixelated. So we can't be absolutely certain or sure where it really is. That's very unfortunate. Michael Facecas adds on by saying, the video clip or the photo of Noah unconscious, it originated in a group chat called the Dark Side Chat. I'm guessing on Facebook Messenger. I don't know if it's legit. Looks like someone has blurred it. Why would somebody blur it though? And if it originated from that chat, Dark Side, how did you obtain it, Michael? Were you a part of the group chat, or was someone a part of the group chat and then passed it on to you? How did it exactly go? And Michael says, I don't know if it is him or not. Well, if you don't know if it's him or not, then why did you state it in the first place? What about the picture of Noah in the bathtub unconscious? How do you know Noah's in the bathtub, and how do you know he's unconscious if you later say, I don't know if it's Noah or not? What you should have said, Michael, is, what about the alleged picture of supposedly Noah, but I'm not too sure myself, but it's been claimed that it is from such and such a place in a bathtub unconscious. You see? Other people that will read this and only read this one screenshot will probably misunderstand it. You know how people's minds work. It's already been a complete disaster in this case and community. That's why I'm making this now, just to spread the awareness so people don't get the hopes up too high. But something called the Dark Side Chat sounds interesting. What else do we have? Brenda, does Michael have a photo of Noah unconscious in a bathtub at the party house September 4th, 2023? And Michael says, it was told to me that it's him. So somebody told you it's him. Now you, Michael, were referring to, can we verify this, or can this be verified, Warlight Ref, with what you've received as in material, right? And, I was given material, and most of the time I try and use a question mark in the title respectfully, or in the description, and I try and use careful language as I go through it, saying, well, this is how it appears to be, this is what we're dealing with. So, Michael, you should be able to understand that. And considering that you, Michael, are a bit unsure in regard to Noah being in the bathtub unconscious, and you say somebody, it was told to me that it was him, someone told you it was Noah, how are we supposed to believe in that? Is that good enough? Just somebody else's word taking it for it? Well, if it's okay with what I do and what I cover and the material that I have, then it should be okay for Michael then, right? But then if people call me out and say, no, it's not good enough what I do or how I present it, then other people aren't in a position to be talking either, because they're relying on other people's words as well. So it seems to be the same situation, doesn't it? Michael says, that's why I haven't spoke about it. Fair enough, but you have now publicly, but at least context is present, but it's a picture of a video, and that's why I brought it up. Okay, so recent time and obtaining it in recent time makes sense as to why it's not been heard before. In terms of the actual date of when it was received, obtained, don't know of personally, but I'm sure it's fairly recent. My question would be, why is it taking this long? And this Dark Side group chat, who does it consist of, on what side of the case community? Tim Daniel, 13 witnesses to the shower video, nobody saw blood. I messaged every single witness and got full account of the shower. And I come across a few people who witnessed it, supposedly claiming it on Facebook, saying what they saw, no mention of blood or death or unconscious. George, but apparently Justin claimed everybody wiped their phones, but I guess they forgot to wipe that bathtub blurred picture then. Brenda, why even mention it if you don't know for certain that or who the photo is of? That's a fair point, Brenda. Michael, same thing here, picture of a picture. What, you mean there's a picture of Noah in the bathtub unconscious? Is that what you're saying? If that was the case, or if it's like first-hand material, you're saying that the material, what you got, the photo, is quite blurry, crappy quality, possibly blurred by someone, and yet the material that I get tends to be somewhat crystal clear in quality. There's that. Michael says, Ref, you're in that group chat, the Dark Side. That's not the case. I'm not. What else do we have? The Dark Side Chat, no, I'm not. Michael Facecast, according to the person who sent it to me, is that in response to Tim Daniel? Nobody wiped phones. One single person had a new phone, which would be Carter Combs, supposedly. Sadie, Michael, what rumour are you trying to start now? And Michael says, Sadie, aren't you also in the Dark Side Messenger chat? That's where it came from. So, where's the proof and evidence of Sadie being in the Dark Side group chat? Tim Daniel, I'm more interested in that this Justin-Alicia connection, those parking lot videos of Alicia racing drunk kids in her Camaro yelling. How does that link to Justin? Was Justin there as well? And Michael Facecast to Tim Daniel, law enforcement told Robin Smith phones, more than one, were wiped. Stop gaslighting. Is that Sam? And then Michael says to me, are you not part of the Dark Side group chat? I'm not. And then Michael says, well, somebody is pretending to be you, Warlight Ref. So looks like there's another impersonation account of me, unfortunately, which is very weird. Why would anyone do that? Is it to try and paint a bad picture of me? Who knows? George wants an invite to the chat. Mike Johnson says, they said a phone. Not all phones were wiped. Well, Robin Smith, also known as Professional Feed, on the Reddit page at the time of Noah Presgrove, Noah's aunt, 9 months ago, or a bit older, had said, I don't know, I think the OHP investigator telling us that these kids, more than one, had deleted everything from their phones isn't really speculation. They told us that Carter Combs had wiped her phone so much that she didn't even have her boyfriend's, Jack Newton's, number saved. Now, the exception could be explained by Carter Combs, who supposedly had a car accident or so, and the phone was smashed up a week or two before, so had to get a brand new phone, and not having enough time to transfer the data, the SIM card, the phone number's over. So if someone saw the phone for the very first time, they would assume, oh, it's been completely wiped. If you didn't know of them getting a brand new phone, and you look at their phone now and it's completely cleaned. Yeah, I get that. But as for the other kids deleting everything, what would be the excuse or the explanation back up there or counterpoints, right? This is coming from what Robin Smith is saying, from what she's been told, and it's not just her, it's us, as in, I guess, Noah's family. What does everyone think about this? Let me know in the comments below. So it looks like we're probably not going to get the actual hard evidence, whether it's actually confirmed or not, the uncertainty and the poor video quality or the photo quality. You could get away with sharing it public, but you know, it's been handed over to police. How will the police handle it? Will there be a thumbs up given or not? Because it seems like with maybe partygoers or partygoers' family, parents or parents, guardians who have handed phones in to police at some point, then they've been returned back, then there's a thumbs up as to when the material and stuff can be posted public if they choose to, if they want to. Do the outsiders in general, public like Michael Face, Kaz, and anybody else in between, maybe Justin Roy or anyone else that passes anything material-wise, evidence-wise onto the police, OHP office, whatever, do they ever get the thumbs up back to then have the material returned back and then they can post it online? Because I've just not seen that trend at this moment, which is very unfortunate in terms of trying to further and better learning, because what it seems to be is certain people in this case don't actually want evidence. It's a weird dark reality, but I did make this prediction in the past that normally people beg and dribble and grovel and are desperate for evidence to learn about a case, to back things up. Evidence is more important than just words from what somebody else says. We need to see it firsthand. We need the hard material, the hard evidence, visually, auditory, both, and anything else in between. And yet, the moment that happens, it's never good enough. Oh, because the timestamps could be altered with. Oh, because it's a recording of a recording, a photo of a photo, a video of a video. It just never seems to be good enough. There's always something to complain about. Now, you could show a video or a clip with no timestamp, and then you can't say it's been altered with, right? But then people think of something else to complain about, as in, well, because there's no timestamp, do we know if it's actually relevant to the same party that Noah attended? Okay, then let's add the timestamp in. Well, actually, we don't know if that timestamp is true or not. We need it verified by police. We need to hear it from the police's mouth and what they've got to say with their material, what they're working with, because then it'll be more true. Really? Because what will happen then? The police show or share it, and then the general public will say, well, actually, the police are corrupt anyway in this case because of foul play, because of those connected with some of the partygoers and family members within the police. So the police are looking out for partygoers. The police are supposedly corrupt. So even if they provide us the raw evidence, it's still not good enough because that's probably been tampered with as well. This is the sheer stupidity of what we're dealing with in the case. So to summarise it, no evidence will ever be good enough in this case, and that people would rather believe in other people's words rather than actual hard evidence. That's where we're at now within this case. That's the mentality of a fair portion of humans. Not so much on my channel. People have better standards here. But it's very unfortunate the way it's going. But look, I made predictions in the Dylan Rounds case that even when it comes to a head and it's resolved, people aren't going to be pleased. People are still not going to believe in it. Even when it was absolutely crystal clear, the killer, murderer, James Brenner, people were still so delusional after that, believing Brenner is innocent and somebody else is responsible. Really? Some people are just lost causes. So when you're dealing with a true crime case, or really any case in the matter, you've got material, limited or a lot, and other people don't believe you, in the material, screw them, because it'll never be good enough. You'll never please them. Just focus on with what you've got, what you have, and keep on moving forwards. And it's the same with anyone that's got material, evidence, clips, party footage. It does not matter how insignificant it is. Arguably, the more insignificant, the more important, the higher the chances that it can be revealed public to some extent. Though, if the claim is that there are many partygoers out there and they don't want to be put out there publicly because they want to try and respect their own privacy, how were those clips recorded in the first place? That's what I would like to know. If it's private recordings and gallery portrait recordings and all that on device, I get that. If it's social media recordings and then public posts, well, they've already put themselves out there, so can't really hide the same way. So with that all in mind, what appears to be the case is it's unknown whether Noah was unconscious in a bathtub or not. Some say he was based on some pixelated quality, and then others will say he wasn't, because as for the witnesses, as Tim Daniel said, 15 witnesses. I came across 2 or 3 ones commenting on Facebook, basically saying at one point in the past, the shower video was posted online temporarily. People saw it, but no one actually screenshotted it or archived it because they weren't expecting it to be deleted. In regard to who posted it, I don't know. In regard to the motive, I don't know. In regard to why it was deleted and who by, I don't know. What was the whole point of it all then? To post, then to delete? Was it a mistake made? Did someone think it was a good idea? Was it a party go? Was it the same person that recorded it, then uploaded it? Is it someone that we're familiar with? Many questions. But one thing that was consistent was a couple of people from what I saw said that Noah was stood up in the shower, awake, alive, but slightly leaning a bit forwards and maybe a little bit groggy. The other mention of it was from the back shot facing Noah's back, and that he was seen wearing black shorts, which is weird because it's been described as he was naked. So how truthful are the witness statements and stuff? I want to know, Tim Daniel, if you can summarize what the 15 witnesses had said, leave a comment down below just to strengthen it and see where we go from there. Because if it's 15 people that say Noah was alive, awake and no blood and uninjured and conscious, and then you got Michael Facecast who's a bit unsure, but some people that have reached out to him or some chat that are saying that it's Noah unconscious, what is it, 15 to 1, 15 to 2 or 3? Is it the majority that believe Noah's okay, or the other way around saying he's not? We'll have to get to that eventually, but I just wanted to do this video to spread awareness as in what's just recently come about, because it is very recent, and the context behind it before it blows out of proportion and before people get too carried away with it, typically on Facebook, as you know. It might already be happening right now. With that being said, my name is Wally Raff. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye for now.